All right, welcome back, Navarra. Medium speed circuit, and oh boy, is it quick! This is a fun track to drive, very fast. Setup here, a little bit tricky. One thing to really watch out for is the brake bias. So, ride height 25 mils, low. This is a fast track, so ride height is down. Damper compression is 20. We're leaving that the same, although you could argue to turn that up a notch or two. Perhaps there is some downhill braking here. Brake bias. For me, 55%. For you, it's a different number. And for this track, very important that brake bias. You really got to watch out because there is some downhill braking here. Not real big hills, but it is a downhill braking zone for a couple of these really hard braking corners, and you do not want to be locking up. If you are locking up, you are going to lose the back end. You are going to run into a whole lot of trouble. So it's probably on the lower side of what you usually use, but just really watch out, especially on cold tires. Very easy to lock up onto this track. You're carrying a lot of speed into these corners, and yeah, so really watch that brake bias. Spring rates 22, low as they go, front and rear. Camber, no, they're not very high for this track. There are some very tight corners, but yeah, uh, the tire temps and grip here, there is some off camber corners, so the cambers are not cranked up too high. You know my channel, asymmetrical, 1.5 on the left, 1.4 on the right. Go with the 1.5 if you want to keep those symmetrical. Toe in 1.4. You definitely need some turn in here, some very tight corners. Yeah, so there's the toe, and that's also helping with the braking as well, because braking here is very tricky. Um, yeah, low as they go, spring rates in the rear, 1.3 camber on the left, 1 on the right. Go with the 1.3 if you want to keep those symmetrical. And toe in 0.3 just to get some heat into the tires and help with the braking a bit. Ride height in the rear, 35 mils. So again, really low, just keeping the rake in a positive number. But yeah, very low ride height for front and rear. ARB is 10. Very high speed corners on this track. 15 is you're going to find that back end wants to step out a little easier. I put in my fastest lap with a 10 ARB, but a 15 if you really like some action in the rear. It's certainly not going to be too bad. And if you are struggling here, spinning out an awful lot, probably something to do with your brakes, but you could lower that down to 5, and that will certainly be a little bit more forgiving. Damper compression 4, it is down 2 clicks. Basically, there are a few corners here, a few of these really tight corners where it is very easy to spin up the rear tires. So this is just helping get some of the weight transferred to the rear, so those tires are a little less spinny. Fuel levels 13. 13 should get you to the end no problem if you're sweating fuel. 14 is going to get you through the race with plenty to spare. So there you go. And gear stack. Now this gets a little tricky. Standard. I set my fastest time with a standard, but you'll see in the guide here, you get to the rev limit probably earlier than you would like. Um, the tall stack is very good. It's not. I found it to be about 2/10 slower. One of the big problems is going uphill. The standard stack is going to pull on the tall stack, but on the downhill section, the tall stack is going to be a little bit quicker. But overall, it works out to be the standard stack is faster. But if you think you are going to be in the middle of the field or the rear at the back of the field, the tall stack is definitely going to give you some more options in terms of drafting. So something to look out for. You may want to give that tall stack a try. All right, we'll get into the guide here. Track is 24. I've seen it, I think, as low as 22. 35% usage as usual. We'll get into this in slow-mo and then run it out at full speed. So coming into turn 1, I believe this is considered a turn. It's just a gentle little slope here. In 4th gear, you can see already at the rev limit. But the tall stack is just not as quick going up this hill. Excuse me. So coming to the inside here, just clipping the curb. Definitely going to be lots of passing here, so cover the inside if someone's coming to attack you. Looking for the change in the pavement. So right around this red marker here, just starting to give it a little bit of a lift. This is very high speed, and it is very easy to unsettle the car, lock it up, spin it up. So just a little lift, and then shifting down into third at that change in the pavement. Little bit of brake just to steady the car, and then just at this or just before this corner here, getting onto the curbs and shifting down into second. Again, if you were coming in here too hot, you are going to be running into some trouble. In the second gear, and then once you are up on top of the level part here, shifting down into first, getting on the brakes. Could be over here just a little bit more, but again, this is a little tricky coming in here. And now it is going to start to turn into a downhill slope, and this is a very easy corner to spin out on. So make sure you get your braking done before that downhill slope while the wheel is straight. And then releasing the brakes, but don't just lift. If you just completely lift, that back end is going to get very light and you are going to spin out. So gently, evenly release the brakes. Turning in, no brakes, no brakes on the turn in. Just clipping that curb and picking up the throttle nice and early. I probably could have picked up the throttle here, you know, around here. Came in here just a little hot maybe. Picking up the throttle nice and early because it's a big stretch of full throttle. Use all of the track here on exits. There are the rules there. I think you have to keep one tire inside the white line, and then just working your way up through the gears. You don't really have to get over to the right here. You're just kind of extending the track, and you can cut this corner pretty good. So yeah, don't extend the track too much. Working your way up the gears, getting onto the green stuff. Now this turning in just before the white of the curb starts. Turn in here gently. If you get in here and you crank the wheel, you are going to scrub a little bit of speed. So just watch the wheel input there, nice and gentle. It's not going to cost you a lot of time, maybe about 300ths. If you're a little more aggressive on the wheel. So just watch out for that. It's not going to be a big deal. But again, we're at the rev limit here, so again, that tall stack is going to give you some more flexibility in terms of drafting. So this is tricky. There is no real great brake marker here. It's whatever your view is to judge about 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths before the start of the curbs. Getting onto the brakes, again, this is going to turn into a little bit of a downhill slope. So braking in a straight line, getting your braking done before it gets into that downhill slope, down into first, and then at the pavement here, starting to turn in. Don't turn in too early, releasing those brakes, just clipping that curb and picking up the throttle nice and early. Again, on exit, just keep one tire in the track there, I believe is the rule. But yeah, use all of that track for exit just to pick up that speed early. And then working your way up through the gears. And then again, you could go all the way over to the right, but you're really just kind of extending the track. You don't have to get over onto the curb over here. This is full throttle corner. And again, cut this curb, cut this corner, and then get your car pointed, depending on how tight you came in, get your car pointed towards the curb here. You want to get this nice and opened up, and you're looking for the start of the white of the curb, getting onto the brakes in third gear, shifting down into first, braking very hard, and again, you want to get over to the left edge here in order to open this up, and releasing the brakes again gently. Gently, do not just completely lift. This is a big hill, it will unsettle the car. So gently release the brakes, turning in, and again picking up the throttle nice and early. Just clipping these curbs, don't get too aggressive on them, and just watch your throttle input. If your car is, if the wheel is really turned and you stomp on the throttle, you are going to spin up those back tires, and that is going to cost you some time for sure. and just use the green stuff here on exit. But again, I think you just have to keep your tire inside the white line, and that is it. So that's a 1047. I think that should be pretty competitive. I have not done a lot of racing on this track, but I think that should hold up. So we'll run this out at full speed. Good luck. We'll see you next time.